Going, and whatever I am stays asleep, dreaming. She says those days my forehead is no longer landing pad for kisses, that she who knows me naked no longer knows the face that tenses. Wrinkles holding on desperately to the me I'm even subconsciously trying to be, and I tell her I don't notice. How eyebrows raise, how lips purse, how veins bulge, how feet seem to march instead of walk, how hands relax into a fist instead of the delicate curve that might invite someone to hold them. She says, you look like something terrible is going to happen. That my face reads defensive. I told her there's no might in looking like this so loudly me, this radical, bisexual, beautiful. There's only waiting. And being as ready as you could be, holding mother's warnings like guns at your waist, and grandfather's pride in a calm look upon your face. He said, just be ready. There's moments for us when they find you out, when they come up expecting entitled entrance into doors you won't open, when they discover that your skin is golden because your auntie thought you too light-skinned for this family, put you outside under the sun covered in baby oil that was supposed to make your mother forget how black men took too long to love her, so she decided to love something else. When they discover that your mouth is loud and unapologetic, but not because you're a caricature of something they saw on BET, because your grandma didn't see sidewalks until she came to Michigan with a man she had to love just so her parents didn't have to feed her. That you're not the perfect, almost black, but not really accessory. That you do make a big deal out of the little things because death by paper cuts is a cruel and unusual punishment. To think that my lover thought they respected me for even a second. When I get like this, she says, calm down, tells me no one thinks like that anymore, and this is those moments when we're just not compatible, because with every breath she takes in defense of her colorless future, she holds dearly with both hands and all hearts. I take in air knowing that even my last breath would spit my name in your face, each syllable, so that even if it kills me, you will know how to pronounce my name, and they will kill me for it. There's no might. I'm already waiting. And she forgets these things sometimes, says, I'm gonna age early, that my youth will leave me long before this tension does, that a life saturated with expectation like mine never gets to see oceans. And I told her I wouldn't be able to see them anyway.
Yeah, that was incredible, like, you know, because they were very, like, nice young ladies, but that beatbox, you see it, she's like, you can't, like, be nice in beatbox. Like, beatbox makes you get grimy. I like that. I like it. Wonderful job. I love the song. I love your songs. I love the Selma song. It was all beautiful. The poems were incredible. Incredible, incredible work. The love poem was great, too. Love is revolutionary. You know, that's how love works, man. You stand there and give someone a chance to hurt you in amazing ways and trust that they won't. That's a revolutionary act. That's not an easy thing to do. To stand there fully clothed and yet completely naked. Pretty revolutionary. I mean, I don't do it, but I hear it. I hear it's pretty revolutionary. So my name is John. I'm gonna do some poems for you. These poems will be a lot about my life. You're gonna find that my life is a lot like your life. People like to concentrate on how different we are. We have much more in common than we do differences. So, in the course of this, you're gonna find that we're at the very least play cousins. And we will be such as we move forward. Do any of you do poems in here other than the amazing poetry troupe? Any of you do poems? Poems? Just you. You're the only one. Just you, sir. So during the course of this, you feel like, yo, I want to do a poem. Put your hand up. Let it be known. I can get you up here. I can get the poem done. I know the guy doing the poems. I can get you in. It can happen for you. So this first poem is a poem that I always start with. It's my favorite poem. It's a poem about my mother. And during the course of this poem, you may find that my mother is your mother. Tell the truth part to make you feel like you gotta tell the truth. So she knows some shit you don't know. So I do what all kids do when you're caught in the middle of a vicious lie. I just start crying. Right? I just start crying and praying that my daddy is going to save me. My daddy is not that type of man. My mother and father are like very, very different people. They're like opposites, you know. Like, my mother is taking you like art openings in museums, and my dad's teaching you how to buy stolen goods from crackheads. How these two people meet and marry, I have no idea. You know what I mean? It's like, this should never happen. True story about my dad. This is a quick true story about my dad. When I was about 15, my dad, heavy smoker, heavy drinker, he is passed out on the front porch of the house. It's about 3 o'clock in the morning. He's passed out, drunk. So I'm trying to get him up off the porch, into the house, off the porch, into the house. In the course of doing this, I look out and see that his car is parked perfectly in front of the house. So I say to him, how did you get here? Did you drive here in this state? Did you get behind the wheel of a car? Did you drive home? And he said, of course I drove home. I am clearly too drunk to be out here walking. And that's how he thought, that's how my dad put things together. But he would also try to offer you like little moments of advice. So, one day, he comes in and we're gonna have the talk, right? The birds and the bees, the talk. It's where you're gonna, discuss things that you would have to imagine your parents did to each other, which is a creepy thought. You don't really wanna have that thought. And at the age of 10, when we sit down to have this talk, I was a very nerdy kid, so I felt like I had more information than he had. So he said, let's sit down, let's have the talk. I said, yes, let's have it. There's some shit you need to know. I have information for you, sir. So I wrote a poem about me and Dad sitting down to have the talk. Pop walked slowly into the room, pulled up and sat down on a stool. I just turned 12. He turned to me and said, well, you are going to be a man too. In the coming years, months, and weeks, you're going to get off into these streets and try to do some of the things a man would do. So, let me be clear. I want to speak to you here about some of the things a man should do. It's time for me and you to have the talk. Now, I did not buck nor balk. I've been waiting for this, nay, praying for this day. I read some books that dealt and took some notes and felt like I knew everything he was about to say. I read some pleasing words about the bees and birds. I dialed some numbers I shouldn't have, charges and fees incurred. I'd hidden my brother's penthouses for him. I chose my own adventure. I'd read some penthouse forums. And I ventured to say all this was going on around the same time I was sneaking into the living room late evenings on the weekends to watch scrambled porn. Now, scrambled porn was cable porn that even if you didn't pay for it, still kind of came on. It was mostly interference and snow. You stare into the clip for a millisecond or so. Then a woman put out a low throaty, oh. Then a flash of feminine flesh would ghostly show, and I didn't know if it was an elbow, arm, toe, or tit, or somewhere my young fevered mind I just knew I wanted to hump it. Hell, y'all, like I was finna go. Found myself on the dance floor with this chick that was talking real quick and dancing real slow. Now, she had very little on. She was dancing to the Get Low remix by Little John, and I was trying to get gone. Trying to get home. That's when the DJ decides to play Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On. What did he do that for? She was like, oh, that is my song. And I was like, hell no. Hell, y'all, I was finna go. But she felt like she just had to tell me she was drinking on Bellevue in town for one night at a double hotel suite. Made sure I could see her dressed from BB, bagged by Louis, Prada shoes on her feet. I mean, a lot of dudes are trying to meet young Slim. Some send champagne to her table, trying to pull her in their stable, hoping she would want them. And the complete irony in her choosing me from this sea of #1 stunners is that I'm an average Joe. An average folk that really just didn't want her. The looks go, she was fairly pretty, but she was also fairly crunk. Not so fair-skinned, but yes, fairly drunk. Through slurred words, I heard nouns, adjectives, and verbs that were damn near felonies. She telling me what she was gonna do to me, which I thought was odd, seeing that she was completely new to me. Had it been 3 hours ago on the street, she wouldn't have even known to speak. Now she's on the dance floor asking me to explore her inner freak, and I don't know what got into me, but I began to speak to her candidly, over the beat. I said, sweet, you got these men on the edge of their seats, waiting for a chance to get at you. You flash your tongue ring, you showing that cute tattoo. And I'm sure they don't even care that we can see the track glue. Or that no woman this black can have eyes that blue. They've been in my ear for 3 songs about the freaky things that go on, the nasty things you're doing. Hell, I ain't even that cute. And I know I ain't the first dude that you done this to who's had a question for you just like way past due. How I know your kitty cat don't have clap like Pity Pat? Or worse yet, you could have the package and you trying to give me that. You could have herpes. Now, girl, please, that would be my luck. I mean, I ain't been a juvenile in a while, but you need to back that ass up. I mean, you deaf, dang. Get your ass on the dance floor, shaking like some good jelly or some Def Jam. Yes, ma'am, I know baby's fat. Ain't nobody gonna question that. And I'm sure the average cat is dying to come get you, trying to conscript you. I see your wide hips, I'm staring at your big picture, but I'm focusing on your details. And love, I'd love to get with you, but let's focus on your T cells. Cause passion's actions could lead the devil's nights like D12 and B4. I can say anymore. She left the dance floor, started making her way toward the door, but she paused by the rail, where she pursed her fake lips and pushed up her fake tits and flipped her fake ponytail. Then she gave me the finger with a fake fingernail, and I was like, hell no. Thank y'all for that boy. But as for me, I used to love to see these women that are dark. I mean, dark as an African tribal dancer standing on the Tropic of Cancer during a lunar eclipse on the summer solstice. Behold this soul, sis. She's dark as the singers of mid-60s soul hits. She absorbs everything around like black holes or black hands holding biscuits, sopping up fish and grits. In other words, she is attractive. She proceeds with progress with no stress. She is proactive. And she is dark. Dark, well-rounded, well-grounded like the bark and roots found in the history of old oaks that may bend in the wind, but never broke. Dark, well-rounded, well-grounded like the roots and history of old black folks that may bend in racial winds, but never broke. Dark as the night the slaves took flight from murderous cotton fields who were whipped, raped, and killed. God their rod, and the darkness that envelops them their shield. God their rod, and the darkness of melanin their shield. God knows I love them, dark. I mean, dark is the world of the closed eyes of a fetus. Dark is the world of the open eyes of these elitists. Dark is the open lies that some of the institutions have tried to feed us. Dark is scriptures, descriptions, and depictions of Jesus. Dark is the history of Uncle Tom, Uncle Ben's, and Uncle Remus. Dark is the audience that was there, that I came to hear Nina Simone sing, black is the color of my true love's hair. I like her so dark, in fact, if she were to lay on black sheets, you'd have to question if she was there. I love them that dark. I mean, dark is dirty oil. Dark is fertile soul. Dark is the prison population down in Macon. Dark is the past we just left and the future we're facing. Dark is the patrons who stay in the establishments of agents. Dark is the mental outlook of kids hooked on PlayStations. Dark is the heart of erasers instilled and filled with hate. Dark is those dudes and dashikis that ironically most other women date. Dark as that coffee looks that they got in the office. Dark as my finances look ever since Bush got in the office. Dark. Dark as Johnny Unitas' signature high tops. Dark as these plots that the violence was fighting for these blocks. Dark as the cookies they got to make Hydrox. Dark as the eyes of a junkie high on crack rocks. Dark is the fact that the government is prone to get you off of heroin, hook you on to methadone, so you can pay them with your drug money, still be a junkie. Dark. Dark as the grandmotherland. Dark as my grandmother's hands that clapped in church on Sunday morning. Dark as Hawaiian coats that boast of black sands. Dark as the glove held high above by black Olympians as they took the victory stand and throughout history took the stand for victory. The skill of these women to be so dark, you understand that women trying to catch a tan could not help but hate it. Like this lady to be so dark, she could go to funerals naked. I mean, darker than the deepest depths of a well. So dark Satan would look at her and be like, you are black as hell. I mean, say, hey, I don't care what kind of dating you get into. You gotta do what you do.